What's going on, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. So I'm sitting here racking my brain, going down the rabbit hole of certain things. Kind of try to give you my progressions and give you the conclusion that I've come to. It's a basketball conversation. So I'm looking at the Sacramento Kings guard situation, and I'm saying to myself, I asked myself the question while I was shaving his face. What if Sacramento trades De'Aaron Fox? Or the question is more so, would I be willing, if I were Sacramento, to trade De'Aaron Fox? Now, the quick answer is, of course not. No, everybody's happy with De'Aaron Fox. He's on a contract that he's earned, and he's your franchise, and you're happy with him. It's not like his production has been anything less than stellar. He's a great kid. He's a great player. He's just the type of dude you want your organization to be run by or to build around, rather. And most importantly, if you send him somewhere else, he's going to torch you. He's going to torch you. He's a superior athlete, one of the fastest, if not the fastest player in all of basketball. He plays defense. He plays offense. He does everything. He's a superstar, just growing into himself. So it's nothing about him that makes me say, nah, that player ain't it. Nothing at all. So that part is very important to make clear. I believe in De'Aaron Fox. Thing is, if I'm Sacramento, this is the situation Sacramento's in. Off night. Incredible. One of the steals, if not the very steal of the draft. Davion Mitchell looks like he's going to be a star on both ends of the court. He looks like somebody that doesn't have any real deficiencies at all. He can pass, he can shoot, he can defend, he can drive, he's athletic, he has ability to break people off the dribble with good handles. He has all this great mechanics. He is close to a perfect guard from what I've seen. He just has to fully develop into who he's going to be, but he's close. He reminds me of somebody like a shooting guard's version of Drew Holiday. He's not the playmaker Drew is, but defensively, offensively, scoring, all that, you can do all that. So he's not somebody I would be willing to let go of, and he's certainly not somebody I'd be willing to let go of on a rookie contract. I'm not doing that. But I look at Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton, kind of think the same way about him. Not as athletic, not as defensively inclined, but still fantastic defensively, still fantastic shooting the ball. And unlike off night, he's somebody that does play the point guard position, so he is getting everybody else involved. He's going to make everybody better. He's going to make any team better for it. He's just one of those guys also who I think has unlimited upside as a guard. Could be one of the premier guards in this league several years from now. And they have De'Aaron Fox on a Supermax contract. Tyrese, off night, rookie contracts, practically paying him nothing to play high-level basketball. De'Aaron Fox and all of the good stuff that he does, he's making practically $200 million. And then you look at the rest of their roster, they've done a good job scouting. Sacramento has, over the last couple seasons, have put together some really good summer league teams and won championships. So that shows you that they have some good stuff on their bench, to say the least. They're doing good things. They still have some things to work out. Their center position could get better. The development of a guy like Bagley didn't go well. So on and so forth. You know the Sacramento Kings are not the greatest organization, but also they have their locale working against them. So if I'm them, I'm saying, even if I were to make the decision to choose the cheaper guards and trade the guard I just paid, the reality is whatever I bring back for De'Aaron Fox, probably going to be trying to scurry the hell out of there. The two other guys who I'm not necessarily paying yet, as soon as they become free agents, there's no guarantee they'll sign. Me giving up on the guy who did choose Sacramento seems less like a smart decision the more we break it down. Because at the end of the day, Sacramento does have a horrible time keeping people. So if you're giving away De'Aaron Fox, the guy that chose you, hoping that you can keep the guys that you have, you're doing yourself no favors. And that is why it became a rabbit hole for me, because I'm like, it's hopeless. Even if Sacramento does everything they're supposed to do, there's still a very good chance that whoever they get are going to be looking to get the hell out of there. So do I trade off night knowing that? Do I trade Tyrese Halliburton knowing that? Seeing as how I may not be able to keep these guys and they are playing at such a fantastic value, maybe I go get some guys that are already on contract who won't have a choice but to try to force their way out to leave rather than walk away in free agency very soon. Maybe it makes a lot of sense for me to try to make sure that I acquire guys that are already on multi-year deals. Kind of give myself some leeway, some flexibility, or rather certainty about my roster. But it comes back around to the same old thing. Whoever we get, including the guys we have, are likely going to want to get the hell out of here. So what does Sacramento do? Honestly, you move. I'm sorry, Sacramento. The problem that you guys are going to run into is that you need somebody like a Giannis to come into your organization, fall in love with it. Stay there, grow there, be too much better than everybody else to where guys can't help but come to the bad town to come to play with this person. Now you got guys like PJ Tucker and Drew Holiday who are happy to sign there because they know they have a super dominant athlete that's dedicated and on file for the next several years. There's no downside to being in this environment. And even more so, a place like Milwaukee don't have San Francisco 100 miles away, LA 500 miles away in the same state. You ain't coming all the way to California to sit in Sacramento. You coming all the way to California and you're looking over to the left and right of you and saying, God, I wish I could be in one of those places instead of here. That's what they're going to say. You're a millionaire. You're going to say that. So if I'm the Sacramento Kings, man, God bless y'all fans. Y'all had a run of great fandom. You guys are great. But as the NBA looks to expand, I'm definitely looking to move Sacramento out of there. They're going to Vegas if I'm running the league. They out. And the reason why is because of what I just said. You can't keep nobody, man. Even if you do everything right, everybody that comes your way going to be looking to go to either the Lakers, the Clippers, Golden State, or the hell out of there entirely. It's hard to build sustainability when you make bad decisions on top of that. And over time, they've made horrible decisions, which has sucked all of the hope out of wanting to be there, even if you did like being in an area like that, even if that was your type of town. Now you're looking around and saying, well, why go there? Why not just go to Milwaukee? Why not just go to Utah? Why not just go to Memphis? Give me a better chance to win. You know what I'm saying? Why am I sitting in Sacramento? There's no point for that. There's no point to be there. Paying them California sales tax and property tax and all the taxes that come with California laws to sit in Sacramento? Who wants to do that? I'm just being real, man. I'm not here to make friends in this video. I'm here to tell the truth. If the NBA is trying to get better and have better quality teams, we got to accept the fact that certain GMs and certain ownerships are working behind the 8 ball as it pertains to bringing players to their teams and keeping them. It's impossible. Here we have Sacramento drafting all these great guards, and the first thing a mind like mine is thinking is how the hell they can get up out of there. I'm thinking Off Night needs to get with the best agency possible to try to leverage his way up out of there. Tyrese Halliburton, same thing. They need to be trying to get up out of there. Because like I said, they're not going to be able to pay all 3 of those guards. They got to figure out which one they're going to pay. One of them's making a max contract, and the other 2 need to be starting somewhere. Tyrese nor Off-Light should be on nobody's bench. Those kids, both of those kids are way too good for that. Way. And I ain't even bring Buddy Hield into the conversation. We ain't even brought him up. If Sacramento made more balanced decisions, I think they would have a better shot. But because they've made some really, really bad ones, as I've said already, nobody want to be there, man. Let's just be real. Nobody want to be there. I was sad, like legitimately sad, when Davion Mitchell's name was called and he was drafted to the Kings. It was sad. That doesn't mean that I think that he can't help turn that team around. Quite the contrary. The more I see him, the more I realize he can be the dang change that they need. But he's in a logjam with the guards, and they're stranglehold behind the fact that they can't trade any of them. Let that sink in. Even if he's the savior for the team, he's going to have to wait to get the opportunity. On Sacramento? This doesn't happen if the team's in Vegas. It just simply doesn't. It's an entirely different outlook. Now you're looking at it as I'm in a city that I don't mind being in. A place where I can make extra money. And it's in a town that doesn't have any sales tax. I can put up with a little more of this. Now I'm going out, having a nightlife and all of that stuff. Maybe that's a distraction. I don't know. But the point is, as a millionaire, I love where I'm at. I love how I'm living. And maybe the basketball stuff falls into place a little better. I'm just saying, man. There are certain places in this league, they have great fan bases, but from a building team standpoint, from a NBA money-making standpoint, these places should not have teams. It is kind of why certain things happen the way that they do in terms of teams not having the money they need to have to pay people, or the cap space rather. A lot of this stuff is just teams working from behind the eight ball because they can't attract nobody. It's not necessarily because the GMs suck. It's because they don't have the leverage they would have if they were running to, say, the Lakers or the Knicks, the Heat, or somebody like that. It's not the same playing field for every team. The NBA needs to do a better job of evening that playing field by extracting some of these impossible situations and putting them in more work-wittable situations. It just is what it is, man. It's strategy, bro. This ain't about emotions. If I was a fan of one of these teams, I would not want this video played. I get it. I'm a Laker fan coming from this catbird seat. It must suck to hear what I got to say, but I'm not thinking as a Laker fan. I'm thinking as an NBA, as if I was an NBA overseer, so to speak. And I'm saying to you, Sacramento has been bad for a very long time, and it's not just because they don't do things the right way. It's because they just can't seem to keep nobody wanting to be there. And the only people that want to be there are people that now they're in a position to not be best for having De'Aaron Fox. And this is what this brings me to. Sacramento, when you are like this, when you have all this working against you, you can't keep doubling down on the same positions in the draft night. You can't do that. You have to make certain decisions right away so that you don't find yourself in these type of conundrums. This don't have to be this way. All you had to do was draft Kuminga or somebody else if he wasn't on the board. Literally, draft a different position, fam. You got De'Aaron Fox on a supermax. Why are you drafting the best available point guard 2 years in a row? Type of stuff like, what are we doing? And like I said, I love the players. They didn't make this bad decisions on the players. If you have to draft those players, you trade them for players that you can actually use. That's the responsible thing to do. Not just hoarding talent and just saying, well, we'll figure it out later. No, you won't figure it out later. You're Sacramento. You will not figure this out. History has told us you ain't going to figure this out. If anything, these players are going to have to deal with whatever it is that you put up with. What you put them through, rather. Unnecessary. Unnecessary. Owner, move the team. Period. Move them to Vegas. That's what you do. And the Clippers should move too, because you're playing behind the eight ball with the Lakers. I don't care how many championships you win over the next 20 years. We're going to always look at you as the enemy here. The majority of this city don't have any interest in no Clippers, bro. And even if you establish yourself, the Lakers will still be establishing themselves even further while you're establishing yourself. You'll never catch up. Never. And the longer you go without winning the championship, the more likely it is that this stays this way. Move. Move. Take that team to a place where you can actually sustainably build without having an entire dynasty organization looming over you with a fan base that hates your guts. It's not even neutral. We hate y'all, literally. It's not neutral. It's not just, oh, there's another team. Hey, we watch them sometime. No, we rooting against y'all every single time. This ain't no home for the Clippers. Those two teams should move. Sacramento needs to move. The Clippers need to move. Preferably Vegas and Seattle, if you ask me. Now, I will admit, if you're the Clippers, you don't want to move to Seattle because you'd rather have the LA locale, even under these circumstances. I totally get that. But I'm saying, as far as you winning people over, and they winning over this city, the people who are going to be coming to your team are not going to be looking at it as I'm going to LA. They're going to be going to the team that LA hates and trying their best to win it over. That's the situation. Any other team you go to, you're going to that team. And you can win over their fan base if you win. You're going to have people booing you in the finals if you play for the Clippers. Finals. You're going to have Laker fans. Half the arena going to be Laker fans booing them. That ain't how athletes should be treated in their own city. Let's just be real. That's not how athletes should be treated in their own city. Nobody who puts on that uniform deserves that type of treatment, and that's exactly what they're going to get if they're here. Yes, they will have fans. They got a lot of fans. Clippers got a lot of fans, but at the end of the day, they're going to have half the city looking at them like they're the enemy, and that ain't fair. Not when they wear that name on the LA on their chest. It ain't right. Do something about that, Bomber. Move that team. I'm here cutting dry today, man. I ain't playing. Like I said, I'm not here to make friends on this day. For whatever reason, that's just the side of bed I woke up on. I want to see things done right. When they're done right, people feel good about that. That's how I feel. My name is BDL44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.